in this jar?
Can I videotape you?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always willing to. So that's the question, the old jelly beans in a jar. How many plastic bottles do you think are in this jar?
Maybe 50?
100.
1,000.
She already knows the answer.
22.
It is actually 4 times 32, which is 128 bottles. So
Oh, wow.
but these are thin bottles. If they were thicker bottles, it would be fewer. And all this packaging. So what I did, and somebody tanked my bottles. I'm like, don't do that, this is a display. But there were 4 packages that I got at Lowe's, and we drank them, and then we shredded them. And then I have a thing to show you what it looked like. That's what's in this jar. And what makes this so special is that now I have a construction material, and every time we have a festival, I know how much I'm gonna get, so I can start gauging. I need actually 100 times this quantity to finish my sculpture.
Wow.
So I need 100 times this. That's a lot of plastic. And then you realize, wow, the plastic problem isn't such a big problem if you're using the damn plastic. When I have 2 different machines here. One is a shredder called a precious plastic shredder. It cost about $1,500 with $500 shipping, so it's about $2,000 to get it here. This is from Precious Plastics, California. This is from Walmart.com. This is a granulator, comes from China. It was not wired, so we had to pay money to get it wired. So it was $2,000 to get this here. It was about $1,500 with $500 shipping, but it was wired for 380 volt 3-phase power. Our electrician came and rewired it so that it's 240 volt at single phase power, which is what we had to then install over there. So we have to run a cord out to there because this building's 110 volts. This one came, if you want to get one, and it's transportable, if I'm mentioning these voltages, this one came wired for 110 volts, single phase power, so we could plug it in here or anywhere that we go with it, and it's portable. It's not that light, but 2 people can lift it and put it onto a pickup truck. The problem is, as we found out, when it jams, as the motor always will, the current draw, if you know voltage and current, they're the inverse of one another. The current draw is so high that it would make the lights flicker and then trip the circuit every time. And we were always running back in the garage and reflipping the circuit breaker, coming out, and eventually that's going to wear out your wiring. It could even start a fire. So 110 volts, they sell it for people who don't have 240 power. We rewired this, took it apart, rewired it for 240 volts, still single phase power, and that means that the lights never flicker and it never flicks to trip it.
Are you getting the same performance though?
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, the higher your voltage is, the better performance you always get. You want low current, high voltage. Voltage is the push that makes that inductive motor turn.
So you want the high voltage.
You want
the
high
voltage.
voltage.
You said you took it back down to 110. Okay, so 110 wasn't.
Right, 110 was bad, but it was easy to plug everywhere.
Yeah.
But 240 is what these operate. If you have 3-phase power, if you can afford it, or if you have a booster, there are boosters they sell, then 3-phase power at 380 volts is even better. But that's some industrial, and I don't think our schools are going to do that. But 240 we can do, because that's for your washing machine. There's certain appliances that run on 240.
So you needed that hot, pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So with this, to show you how it works,
You want me to plug it?
yeah, if you mind.
Shoot that on that.
There it is. You know where to plug it?
Yes.
You
I know.
have been trained. Okay.
In the meantime, these are some of the.
Yes.
In the meantime.
So when we do our shredding and
And
granulating.
this is like them just trying out different stuff.
Oh, yeah, go ahead and pull.
pretty
I was stepping on it. You can keep pulling. There you go. So this machine here, which I'll fire up for you, this is the granulator. We put in this bottle caps. Anything as small as a dollar coin or smaller can go in this one. It's not a shredder, it's a crusher. I'll open it up and show you what it has. You can see the operation of this. Oh, sure. How can I show you this? Pull these out. Pull these out for you quickly. You can start to see it now. And I'll open this up so you can see the flywheel. This is a different principle. So you see these big crushing blades? See that there? Mm-hmm. These blocks crush stuff that fits between them. If it doesn't fit between, it'll jam. So I can't put plastic bags in here and water bottles, they just won't fit. Caps.
Rigid, it needs rigid material.
It needs, well, or small enough material that it can get in between the different so-called blades. That's as opposed to if you look inside this one looks identical to, and let me plug this in, you'll see it in a second. By the way, 240 plugs are different, so they don't go in the wall. See how they're angled different?
Luckily.
Yeah, you need that or you make a big mistake. So, what did I do? Is it on? Oh, wrong cord.
Okay. I plugged it.
Okay, so this one here, if you take a look inside, you can see how it's shredded. Looks like your paper shredder, and it's a higher. And if I run it back that way, you can see it there. Now you can see the glass. So it has a sieve at the bottom so that the particles will fall through. And then what I get is I get this. This is my shred. All right. When I shred everything, I get this. So this is shredding bottle caps in here, which I don't normally do. I use that for bottle caps, but I wanted to show if I did use the shredder. It's the same pore size. The screens on these are the same. This is the industrial size that is recommended. If you can get it finer, you'd have to do another shred and put a finer screen on. But as you can see in here, it's kind of fluffy and it has silver parts. See that little silver part there? That's chips bags, the Mylar, candy wrappers. They're number 7s that people say are completely unrecyclable. They're wrong. Everything is recyclable if it's in the right form, at the right time, at the right place, at the right concentration, all that sort of stuff. So by mixing my number 1 through 7 here and not carrying indiscriminately, I save time and labor. I only got 2 machines. We're getting a bigger one that costs $7,000 with shipping. It's $5,000, big machine that's gonna have 2 big blades so we can do bigger objects. Takes us less time. But just dump the stuff in. Don't bother source separating because it's gonna produce a really good mash that can go in with the cement for that application. Can't do thermoplastics with it. What Michaela's talking about is with our granulator here, I shredded up bottle caps only for Christmas, and I didn't clean the machine, so it's got contaminants. I started with blue, and then I had the blue and I used them up. I have red with blue. Then I stopped the red and I put in green, but I didn't clean the machine. So this red contaminant, I thought that looked cute. So I didn't bother. If you spend the time to clean the machine, you can have an absolutely perfect color in there. Then what we do is we take these and we put them in this oven over here. This is just a cookie oven right there. That's it. We put it on a cookie sheet.
Yeah, everything's out of place because we have the event and I'm also organizing all of it.
We put it on a cookie sheet. The cookie sheet's gone, but just a regular cookie sheet, that paper that they use. And then you put it to cookie temperature. When you do HDPE, which is what those bottle caps are, Michaela, where's here? You get this.
Ooh.
Now this is just taking a metal plate, pressing it down by hand onto the plastic. This side looks good. This side doesn't look so good, but I wanted to make a plastic plate with 2 different colors, and that's what I got at cookie dough temperatures using silicone gloves. And it becomes putty. And if you can work fast enough, you can mold it. I tried to make a bowl. As you can see, I don't have the right molds with the right pressures, so there was some disruption there. I tried to fix it with another color. Obviously, if you have the right molds and machinery, you can do better. This is bottle caps. This is yogurt cups. Yogurt cups are polypropylene, number 5. Bottle caps are HDPE, number 2. They don't play well, and the polypropylene tends to crack, but the other is really good. So then we thought, let's make some signs, because we're making signs with our X-Carve machine, like Chaya the Mexican tree spinach. They're 2-color signs. They cost $5 a pop when you buy them. They're HDPE. So we're like, okay, let's make our own sign. So there it is, but it's uncarved. We have 1 color underneath the paint. We couldn't make 2-color. I tried here, and it really is hard to make a 2-color sign. We don't have the processing machinery. But if you paint it, then the carver will carve through the paint and it reveals another color. So we're gonna start making our own signs for the property out of bottle caps.
That's awesome.
So that's a lot of fun. And then we said, well, what if we did the whole bottle, PET bottles? Well, you can see the PET bottles do not play well they're not thermoplastics in the normal sense. So that was a failure. This was a mix of PET bottle and their caps, which is polypropylene. Throw the whole bottle in, see what happens. Not good. So we're not technically able to do the bottles for that. But that is the benefit of doing source separation and stuff. You'll see a lot of experiments that we've done. I can pull out. At one point, I took my bags, I did not shred them. I just put them in a matrix of HDPE, and I got something that was sort of decent as an abstract artwork, but not very useful. Here was shredding different colors and seeing what kind of mosaic we could get, and trying a 2-color mix by doing it at different times. There's a lot of experimentation that goes on with this. This was just bottle caps unshredded, laid out on the cookie sheet. That's not bad. You can
That's
actually
really
see
cool.
the bottle
Yeah.
caps there. Right? Again, the yogurt cups, okay, but they crack, so not a good thing there. I love the one that is. Where is it?
Can we make Tupperware? My wife is always losing Tupperware.
Yeah, I think you could. I love that if you do the granulating and you do the right kind of mix of colors, you can get some really nice marbled effects. And then you see I started to polish, and the polish will make it look really good. And people use it for making baseboards and cutting boards and stuff.
In kitchen, actually, they're using it to make the
countertops. Right? This is a nice mix. The polish came out well here. Here I tried using a little bit of water bottle because I wanted to see if I could get a different texture, and it does make it like raspy, but of course it's not useful for anything. I just wanted to show if I did it first as the bottle caps, and then I took the bottle and sprinkled it around, what might it do? And so there's interesting properties that you can get to. And this one here is fascinating because this guy is plastic bags. This is LDPE, number 4. They will melt in the oven and they will produce good countertop as well.
That's a nice look.
Yeah, this is all it's not
A lot of energy.
300 to 350 and you do it and it doesn't off gas.
Feels good too.
Yeah.
Oh, I like
The
that.
kids were talking about
Yeah.
in the net impact, the 3D filament.
Yeah, we have a filament extruder that is now back in Canada with the company because it broke. If they'll ever return it. It doesn't play well with HDPE because HDPE will not self-adhere. We've tried it with the SnapMaker 3D printer that we have. It plays well with PET if you can get the parameters right, and I never could. There are professors who are doing PET bottles, and that's the best one if you can get the parameters right. I got a good blend of PLA, which is what they sell for printers, at 50% and 50% HDPE. I got a decent thread, but then the print collapsed. So it's really, you have to be
Touchy.
Yeah, it's touchy. You have to, the bed has to be heated on the printer, and the nozzle temperature has to be adjusted. It's done.
It needs work.
It's work.
But, that's what you guys were talking about. I was 3D printer at one point.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
No, we should all get into it and share our ideas for it because it does work. It's just a little trickier than